Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to the Radical Racing Challenge live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Alessandro Dalladoni, Mark Tranter operating the cameras tonight, and we're here at the Temple of Speed. It is Monza for week 3 of the championship. Alessandro, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is going to be quite a bit of a lottery for these cars. This is one of the highest drag cars, or the highest slipstream cars at least, in all of iRacing. The tow effect is going to be mega. We're going to have pack racing. It's going to be exciting, and hopefully we see a photo finish as well. Yeah, got high hopes for this one.
Absolutely, Sam. It's going to be very, very interesting, and as you were saying earlier, even if you are quite slower than the guys in front, with this slipstream, you can quite easily also keep up with them. So pretty much everyone has a chance to win tonight. It's like the plate racing in NASCAR in ovals. Monza gives you the chance to be very, very close with also drivers that usually are much faster than you. As we look at the drivers qualifying with Baba Largo already outclassing the field, but look, the gap between all these drivers is very, very close.
Absolutely, and I mean the draft effect in this car goes back to 1.8 seconds. It's the approximate gap that you can be behind it, and once you're within that, the draft effect is really strong. And so, as you say, you know, you can be slower than the car ahead, but as long as you're kind of within, no, certainly within half a second of that, easy to keep up. I mean, dare I say even within a second, and you can keep up lap after lap. So it'll be absolutely fascinating. Kane Halliburton already 1 race win so far this season, and Baba with 1 race win. They're currently on the front row of the grid, but Halliburton with a 44.0. That's the fastest lap I've seen all week, and really setting down a very strong time at the start of this session. However, tyres will be getting up to temperature on the second lap, particularly tricky around this Monza circuit due to the lack of corners and the very long straights. So I expect to see plenty of improvements as we ride on board with Bubba, trying to improve on his lap at the moment. He's just got the parabolic to go in order to try to beat Kane Halliburton, but that's still a strong start for the man who won so many races last season as well.
Absolutely. You need to start in front if you don't want to get tangled in an accident or something happening in the first lap, especially in the opening 2 chicanes, as we see plenty of drivers improving right now. Let's see where Erling Baba will move up. Only 5th place. A bit of disappointment, I guess, for the driver from the Netherlands. Only 5th place, but the gaps are very, very close. We need to wait for Halliburton though, because he's still having to set his second fastest lap, and he's really, really going very fast in the first sectors.
Yeah, some good sector time so far for him. Just shows how quick that second lap is. Olago managed to improve by about 0.4 of a second from his first lap to his second lap. Well, if Halliburton can improve that margin, he'll take a comfortable pole, but I think he'll be a bit closer than that. So the absolute shortest run to the line is at pole position for Kane Halliburton. It is, and it's a 43.75, and that is a mighty lap to be 0.4 clear of P3 on the grid round Monza. Of all places, that is really impressive. No drafts, of course, for these drafts. It's all just solo for this qualifying session now. Kike Ming, what can he do? Of course, many time podium sits up in this championship. Yet to win on one of these Apex Racing TV broadcasts, however. But he is a very quick driver. On his second lap, he's got a minute to go, so he'll get this lap in. I mean, this could be good enough for pole position potentially for me. I mean, no purple sectors, but lots of personal bests. You can just get it up on the second row of the grid, maybe swap between Olago and Putaklis. Then he might be able to be in a good position for the starts. And that's exactly what he does, just slots nicely in to that third position.
We're looking now at Paul Taylor in the car number 22. He's the last driver to come across the finish line and moves up into 12th position, and that's the end of qualifying, a little bit earlier than expected.
Everyone was very nice there, and they all completed their laps, so he gets quickly advanced straight over to the race. So good news there. Hopefully no one's taking a toilet break. Halliburton on pole then for the third. It's back to back, isn't he? He got second place on the grid at Watkins Glen, but car number 1 looking very strong there. It's Emmanuel Olago, really strong qualifying for him up there in second place. Then it's Kike Ming in third. Aldis Putaklis in 4th place, first time we've seen him on the broadcast before. Then it's John McHutchinson in 5th. Behind that's Aaron Barber, last week's winner. Daniel Bouchamp, Arturus Kundalis. As our producer just laughed at my pronunciation of Daniel Bouchamp's name. I think that's better. I don't know. David Jordan lines up in 9th place. First time we've seen him as well. And there's Ant Castles, Tommy Whittons, Paul Taylor in 12th place. Then it's Tom Wedgwood, Connor Bell, Diego Acevedo, Dylan Freckleton, Eric Hanoi, Sean Malloy. Best of luck to him, series organiser of course, Robert Woodward, Dennis Kyriakopoulos, Ludwig Stahl and Matteo Graziano. Quite surprisingly down in 22nd place considering he is the 8th seed. Yeah, what do we expect from this one, Alessandro? Do you think the leaders might be able to pull away, or do you expect like a 5 or 6 card chain at the front? Could it be more than that?
Oh yeah, I really have no idea what to expect from this race, Sam, to be fair, because if whoever's gonna take the first corner in the lead has the chance to pull away, is because the drivers behind him will fight really, really hard. And even though if you open a gap of 1 second, they'll probably still be able to catch you. But everyone is on the grid now.
You need a high IQ around this Monza circuit in order to come out on top. A lot of strategies in store for the next 16 laps. The lights are coming on. Halliburton from the pole, and we are away racing at the Temple of Speed. Immediately trying to get into the draft is Olago. Might be able to have a run at Halliburton down into turn 1, who feels the need to go defensive. As we go 2 by 2 into a turn 1. Is anyone going to outbig themselves at the start of the race? Very patient from the front guys, but it's long around. Of course, championship 2nd position, and that is not a good start for him. I think he kept the car clean. He can still get some decent points tonight, but that is not what he needed by any means. He gets tumbling down Kyrkopoulos and Bell, I think, also getting a little bit of a poor start, but it's all the same in the top 5. That's what we want to see. It's Wedgwood on the circuit as well. Was that even maybe Jordan crossing the track, I think, getting a big slowdown on this opening lap, and that is exactly what you don't want to. It's so tricky on the cold tyres, and a lock-up famous.
Indeed, absolutely. I think the race cannot be won in these opening 2 laps, but definitely lost with the cold tires. If you don't really pay attention and take your time, you might really make a big mistake, as we already lost Conor Bell in the 18 car in this opening lap, and many other drivers lost plenty of position mistakes.
Wide there for Olag. He doesn't need to push hard. That distance back will easily give him the lead, if he so wishes, down into turn 1. Bit of side-by-side behind McHutchinson and Putiklis, and Putiklis driving that one well, just lifting out on the nozzle, letting McHutchinson go. Now 1 second behind these leaders, and trust me, you may not seem obvious, but McHutchinson will make that gap up easily by the time they get up into the second chicane, as long as they don't battle each other too much. And actually, it is Putiklis trying to go for that 4th position. This is the high IQ that I was talking about. Don't pass each other too much, guys, and Putiklis a bit deeper on the brakes. I really just want them to stay close. It's painful to see these drivers battling against one another. It should just be funny. Jordan moves back up into 13th place after skipping the second chicane earlier on. And so far, the big gap forming is Kundalis to Feckleton. And also Graziano with a very nice start, but that qualifying has given us so much work to do. Is up there in 15th place. He's up 7 places from the start.
Look at those blocking maneuvers, drivers swapping lanes in this right-hander as we enter the second chicane, and Hortan defense from Graziano having a very good exit, but they are still side-by-side. Graziano has the preferred line and makes the move stick, but obviously now we have the backstretch leading to Ascari, and he will have a tough time to keep the Spaniard here.
It's underrated just how long this straight is. Now you can get a very good run out of the second Lesbe, going for a move into Ascari. Even though it's pretty much the 4th longest straight round this cycle, it really does just show the speeds that you can get up in this radical SR8 machine. Problem for Halliburton, so Halliburton's down to 6th place. I think he may have got a slowdown because he lost the position to Olage, and then lost some more positions. He seemed to immediately lose some time to Olage, so he's still very much in this one, Halliburton. You can see visually for yourself a few gaps forming, and I imagine Beauchamp will probably just let him go, Halliburton, and let them catch up to the guys ahead. But already a little bit of spread in the top 10, and so Largo leads as they move on to lap 3. Oh, that was a lock-up for Beauchamp, and he's going to skip the chicane. I think no, he's just about made the chicane, but Halliburton has got past. He's up to him.
Yeah, Beauchamp tried to fend Halliburton off, but he didn't manage to do so. But here is the mistake from
I think he took too much curve.
Halliburton. Yeah, I think he had a slowdown, maybe from the first chicane, because it seemed to be quite on the preferred line. Maybe just took too much curve on the right-hander. But anyway, Halliburton will have the chance to come back. He is only 1 second behind McHutchinson in 5th place, as we have another replay of the start with Erling Baba. I think he might have had a little edge. I heard someone in the chat. Indeed, he had. Ooh, and that was a Bell, I think, Sam.
I think that was Beauchamp. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Beauchamp, I think, tapped Baba, and then on the background we saw another car hitting very, very hard. And I think that was the Canadian Conor Bell, who is at the moment our only driver out of the race.
Yes, yeah, so bad news. A little bit of netcode, I think, involved that one as well. Ming takes the lead, so was pretty good qualifying for me, wasn't it? It's really close down into the chicane. It will be very obvious to see if anyone has hit anyone else, because the rear of this car, the rear bumper, is so brittle, and it will kind of just deform a bit. It doesn't really lose you too much time, it's mainly just visual. But I know it's just a little bit of a mark to see if there has been any contacts or not. But yeah, Ming now leading this race on lap 4. These guys at the front so far playing this one pretty smart, as that is a slowdown.
Castles is around.
Yes, Castles is around. He has a slowdown as well for Butterfliss, who's dropped down to 5th place, or 6th place. But let's see what's happened here to Castles.
I think too much curve. I saw the car spin right here in the direction change, and the driver from Pure Motorsport unfortunately will have now to let everyone go and rejoin at the back of the field, all the way in 21st place.
Freckleton onto the back of Beauchamp. Not 1.5 seconds back, so they'll still be getting a little bit of draft. Actually, Freckleton's going to go for the move here. Not the smartest thing to do, guys. Compromise the line. And you may be saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, but mind you, I am PSR Winter Series champion, and I did win a race earlier this week. Strength of field 2,400. You know, so not bad, shall we say. And so I have some authority to say this. Don't
oh yeah, absolutely. You have plenty of experience, and much more than me on this car.
Oh, but you are so much faster than me, aren't you? Yeah, I think you have far more authority than myself. But I think we can spot a good fight when there is one, and that top 5 is certainly a good fight. It's just a little bit detached in 6th position. Looks at Aaron Barber there. He is showing absolutely no damage on that car. Oh, no, a little bit on the front corner. Apart from that, you'll be pleased about that, because Monza's not a fun circuit to drive on when you have damage. You'd much rather get spun, lose a bunch of time, but have a clean car. Just lose a little bit and have a slightly damaged car, as Butterfliss has had a massive problem. I think he may have crashed in the second Lesmo.
Whatever car you're driving, that second Lesmo is very, very treacherous. It might have got a bit too wide. Typical second Lesmo corner mistake, and the inside wall takes Butterfliss out of the race, as also Beauchamp has trouble. This is Butterfliss trying to limp back on pit road, and you can spot also in the 14 car Beauchamp losing a free position. Letting now the Italian driver Graziano, our biggest user of the race, plus 12 from the start, into the top 10.
Well, that was almost a lovely chance, Sanjay, because he was all over the place, and these cars will run very low drag around this circuit. There is a different setup for each meet that we put this season. There's the wide. How brave are you? Beauchamp. This guy's a guy. It's a wise thing to do, and Graziano's gone from 10th to 13th. Of course, that slide didn't help. But easy to do around this circuit. Graziano's trying to come back immediately here right now. So top 6, so it's down to 13. About 4 seconds separating them at the moment. There's the move. Beauchamp though stays alongside, and Graziano had to leave a little bit of space there. He's narrowing around that part of the circuit, and the Italian cannot improve on that 13.
Yeah, Italian driver was definitely not happy. I heard some distinct screaming in the chat. Graziano definitely showing his frustration, since he was looking very, very good in 10th place, and now he's losing a very, very valuable time. Also, we have a move for 7th place between Wedgwood and Wittens is around, tries to keep the car out of trouble, and boy, that was a perfect execution. He managed to do what Vettel did last time he came here in Monza.
Yeah, that was just off balance there, then a slight touch with the other drivers. Here comes Olage into the lead. Hutchinson and Halliburton just getting a little bit detached. Hutchinson's a smart driver. Don't think he'll fight Halliburton down here. Halliburton moves up into third position. He's getting that stress. The draft kicks in at 1.8 seconds behind. But I kind of feel Halliburton is almost always the fastest driver on the circuit. I think that he's within that range, will easily catch up to the drivers ahead. The top 4 separated by about 1.5 seconds at the moment. Graziano's had another problem, it seems. He's dropped behind Hanoi and Stahl after a strong start for Graziano. And here it is, and I think this may have got a little bit personal between these guys. Already some fighting between the lots of them. Oh, just a bunch of netcode there. Second time we've seen that, first with Bubba and Graziano just to get out. Getting out of the way of the other drivers.
And got very lucky there because that region was very on the limit. The drivers were coming very fast, but let's look also here at the top of our standings with Olargo and Mingo fighting for the lead. I think they need to be looking backwards though, because Kane is coming really fast. McHutchison let him by and now he's losing a bit of speed. He's already well above 1 second, but if these 3 guys start to fight, the Scotsman will be for sure having the chance to come back. Kundalisi instead in 5th place is still within the draft range, but it's gonna be very tight for him.
Yeah, it'll be getting a waft of it, we can see. As the top 2 just change around though. They're driving this one well at the moment. Ming and Olage. See how early from the brakes Halliburton is, just giving them lots of space. You can almost fast forward this race between these top 3 at least. Maybe Hutchinson may lose the draft eventually, but the top 3 I think will be staying very similar to this for that 15-16 when track position really matters. Anyway, Beauchamp has got ahead of Jordan there. I think these guys just stay very close to one. They've been in a pack for a while. Graziano, of course, was part of this one. You can see kind of mangled the back of Beauchamp's car. Oh, and a massive crash onto the roll cage there. Well, that's what it's for. And we've got cars in the middle of the circuit. That's a lot of retirees right there. Oh, this is terrible news.
How did that happen? Was a touch here?
Oh, definitely a touch. Oh, it was a small one though, wasn't it? Just lost control.
Yeah. Well, definitely not the week Erling Baba wanted, because unfortunately he was involved in that too. Really incredible scenes here at Monza. Monza always provides a lot of very spectacular crashes, both in real life and also here in the virtual.
So yeah, that was Baba, Jordan, Macavede and Woodward all retiring from the spots. Which you can see just that one. I think, yeah. I think others have got damage as well. So these cars are brittle, and so it doesn't take a lot for damage, and that is a shame for Baba. Boy, second favourite to win the championship behind Halliburton, and to beat Halliburton. Really need to either hope that he doesn't turn up to half the meetings like he did last season, or be mega consistent and give him absolutely nothing. And that is a shame for him. Good to see Hutchinson up into 4th position. I mean, he's only half a second behind these guys, very much staying in the fight. Graziano, in the end, was a big beneficiary of that. He's gone from 21st to 10 to 15, back to 10. So just ahead of Hanoi, but Hanoi's going to get past him. They've both got damage. Hanoi will have the better line for the chicane. Stoll and Malloy. Malloy might be in for good points here. Oh, big slide. Wow. Oh, and losing it anyway is Malloy. Graziano's got to serve the slowdown, but I'm not sure how big the slowdown will be. Oh, it's weaving about a little bit there, and Malloy, well, held all those other drivers up. It's meant that Graziano might actually be able to keep 11th place. It's really kicking off. These guys are now over 20 seconds off the lead. We're only on lap 9.
Wide almost. This is very wide. These mid-pack drivers tend to use less their head and go for the positions, as we have another driver looking to make it 3 wide, but it's very difficult to come here at Ascari and enter 3 wide. You cannot even go side by side. You need to be very careful. I know he lost a lot of position coming out of the second Lesmo very, very slowly. Graziano now back in 10th, but look at the gap now, 9 seconds from Beauchamp in 9th place.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to that point, the strategy game kind of goes out the window. Because one, you're angry, and two, you're not going to catch up to the cars ahead anyway. And you might look back at maybe Kyrgios and Castles, they may get involved, but I think that there'll be more concerned about the others. This is going to get personal if it hasn't already, and we're only halfway through the race, darting left and right. You'd think it was the last lap right now. It's Stahl going around the outside. Good. Oh, apologies, that's Graziano going around the outside. Very good run for him, but Stahl with us. They kind of got similar aero damage, haven't they? Much of a kind of momentum run there from Stahl. He'll dip back into the tight. He might be able to get alongside down into the chicane. He looks to the inside, does the 19, but stays behind. But well, it's just a matter of time until he does get an opportunity to get past the Italian.
I think Graziano has a little bit more raw speed, but with this slipstream effect, it's pretty much impossible for him to pull away. He needs a bit of help from the drivers behind him, as we look now at the battle for 6th and 7th place with Tom Wedgwood that made the pass happen this lap on Dylan Freckleton. They are quite away from Kundelis 5th place and need to work a little bit together, I think, Sam, to make sure that Paul Taylor in the 22 car won't be able to catch them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Really good lap that time out for Wedgwood. 44.0 is pretty much matching what the leaders do. I mean, that's heavily skewed, I think, because he had the toe, which, you know, that can get you a second around the circuit. If he starts off maybe a second behind, then you can absolutely nail a nice draft on the car ahead. So maybe that's a little bit skewed, but I think it still shows that he's got good pace. Tom Wedgwood, who didn't see too much in this broadcast. Do I? Once again, Graziano on the outside, so wasn't able to repel the attack for too long. And now it's Beloy up into 10th place, and he is, of course, the Radical Series admin. And so he's got our support. Come on, Sean. Pull away from these guys now. 7/10 of a second ahead of start. Now, will Graziano go for the move? I don't think he'll be close enough for the move. Hanoi looking around as well. And Whitson, so of course, had that spin at Sky earlier on. Very much in the mix as well. Star just misses the apex a little bit there. Slows us up slightly. This group of five still closing. Actually, Castles with good pace in the background. Castles gained on these guys by 2 seconds on that last lap. He's got Kyrgios to deal with, but yeah, look, watch out for Castles. He might still be able to get a top 10 out of this.
Oh yeah, for sure. If the guys in front keep battling so hard for the next 6 laps, he might still have a chance, as long as he doesn't really get slowed down by Dennis Kyriakopoulos. But I think knowing them, regular Radical drivers, they will try to work together and make up the time lost previously, as we enter lap 12, Sam, and we have another pass for the lead, which is pretty much now thing of every lap. These 2 guys swapping draft, swapping positions, and Kane Halliburton just taking his time, letting them do their job, and hoping that this car will be fine, and having the great pace that is always shown so far in this car to make something happen in the last few laps.
It's tricky to know where you want to be when you want to make a move. It's tricky to go for the move into Parabolica. I mean, you know, you can follow through a Sky. These cars are not too kind of turbulent, wakey. It's not you get one. It's not too much turbulence. So you can stay close to a Sky, so you might be able to get the move into Parabolica. I think it's fairly rare that you want to be ahead into a Sky on the last lap if you can. I don't think Halliburton would want to be third going on to the last lap. I think you want to be in that second position. Certainly don't want to be fourth. That's where McCutcheon is, and to be fair, John might just be thinking, oh, I'll see if these guys take each other out, but I don't wanna hurt the race that's going on just ahead. Maybe he's thinking his best chance of the race win, which I'm sure he would love to pick up. Hasn't won one of these broadcasters races in the past. He would like to get the win if he can. Maybe waits for those guys ahead to crash into one another. Could be the way to do that, but he's looking strong at the moment, staying very close to Halliburton just ahead. So yeah, all these guys going very smart at the moment. Malloy's been able to pull away a little bit in 10th place as Olago goes to the lead at the moment. There he is. A little bit deep there. He's alright. But yeah, Malloy's now 1.1 seconds ahead of Graziano in 10th and 11th. Stahl, Hanoi and Whitton's all tight. So Malloy's nearly broken this draft now. It's also Beauchamp just gets past Taylor, so good move there. But yeah, what's going on with Graziano, Stahl and Hanoi? Because this could be tasty once again. These guys have been battling against each other for about pretty much the whole race now.
Absolutely, these guys are providing us plenty of entertainment, as Graziano now has the preferred line on the exit of the first chicane and gets the pass done. Actually defends the position on Ludwig Stahl. And Eric Hanoi, the Norwegian driver, now looks to make up a spot after the unsuccessful pass attempt of the American, and indeed moves up into 12th position. These positions are going to be very, very important as we are approaching the last few laps, and battles tend to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more harder. So it's easier for the guy in front to have the chance to pull away.
Great work from Mark Tranto in the production booth to bring up this lovely graphic, our favourite graphic. I think we'll be in Sandro. It's going to show it in F1 anymore, but that is the amount of time that Castles has been gaining. She might just come up one lap too short. We've only got 3 more laps to go after this one. But Castles is now within the draft. He's 1.7 seconds behind, so he will be able to pick up a little bit of speed. Expect to see some good laps from Castles soon. Ooh, big slide for McHutchinson. Well, that might be game over there for McHutchinson. He's still slightly in the draft, although that gap is increasing. Just unforced it seemed there, maybe a loss of concentration. Yeah, he's still within the draft, but I doubt we'll have time to catch up to the drivers ahead. The time that is remaining. Feckleton coming back against Wedgwood. Taylor and Beauchamp are a bit further behind. Malloy's gone off. Malloy has crashed, it seems. That is a huge shame for Sean Malloy, who worked hard to get to the top 10, but he was caught by Graziano. And let's see if there's contact between these two.
Just missed the braking point. Graziano didn't make a move, but unsettled Sim Malloy, who missed the braking point, went over curves and got a slowdown and lost quite a lot of positions, giving also Ant Castle a freebie. So Ant Castle now moves up into 14th place and even closer to the pack in front, so it might be the right spot on time to make a few extra positions if the guys in front still battle it out.
Yeah, that could certainly be the case. Now we are getting into the business end of this race. 2 laps to go. You don't necessarily want to be in the lead going on to the last lap. You do want to be in the lead at the end of the last lap. Halliburton looking a bit more racy here. He does lift out of it a bit, picking which side he wants to go. He's laying on the inside, just depending from Olago. Getting the good exit on the out of the corner. 0.5 seconds behind is McHutchinson. He's surely out of this one now, and Lane just pulling it away a little bit right there. That's not necessarily a bad thing for Olago. Just wants to get a nice exit coming out of Parabolica, beat the second place coming out of Parabolica, and get the move down into the first chicane on the last lap. Graziano being overtaken by Hanoi. These guys are really flip-flopping about. Oh, Graziano almost making contact there with Stahl. And this is escape time for Hanoi. It's a prisoner on the run, trying to hang on to that 10.
Graziano, thankfully we have no live stewards in this race, otherwise stewards would have looked at that defending maneuvers already quite a few times. Moving across the braking zone is not very ideal, especially being so close to a local driver, but Graziano still manages to keep 11th place. But look at Hanoi with just a few corners side by side, opened up a second gap, and now we'll try to pull away, but that damage on the rear wing will definitely not help you in this race.
Up the inside goes Castles on Whitsun's. Whitsun's has been very polite, very cautious, and kind of keeping up that one, didn't defend into a sky. But it's the last lap of the race here at Monza, and it's Olago down the inside. Halliburton's going to go around the outside. Well, surely that cannot work unless he's mega deep on the brakes. It's 3 wide for the lead. Halliburton round the outside. Is there contact? There's not. Halliburton with a big slide, but it's Olago who comes out of the chicane in the lead. Now he can choose who he wants to give the jump to, and he might just be able to box in one of his opponents. Halliburton though, looking strong around the outside. There's nothing that Ming can do about this one. He's boxed in on the inside. Halliburton will try to go the long way round. There's contact between the two of them, but they just about kept it in a right direction. Ming trying to take advantage, but it's Halliburton with the inside into the first Lesmo. They can track it to now. They'll have plenty of incidents to spare, and still Halliburton can't take the racing line. Just having to turn out of the corner slightly there, as McHutchinson is right with these guys with just half a lap to go and a couple more big overtaking spots to come. Look at the run from Ming. He's now boxing in Olago. Doesn't feel nice, does it, mate? As he goes round the outside. Brilliant move there for Ming. Absolutely late on the brakes as anything, and it's Halliburton, but is right on his tail. The parabolica to go, could still be a run to the line as well. What can Olago do in third position? He's going to make it 3 wide, trying to go for the Halliburton special there. He's managed to pull up only one lap. Mega deep on the brakes is Ming. Oh, but he's going to spin it. Does he hit Halliburton? He doesn't. And it's surely going to be Halliburton to take the win. But Hutchinson somehow up into second position. But it's Halliburton. He pulls it out for his second race win of the season, his third podium of the season as well, and wins an absolute epic at Monza. And there's everything and more that we were hoping for, which would beat Freckleton by 100th of a second at the line. And Beauchamp finishing in 8th place. Who's going to win out though of that second pack? Graziano managed to pull away. He's up into 10th place. But round is Hanoi, and round as well is Stahl. And Malloy finishes in 11th place despite skipping the chicane. Kyriakopoulos, a quiet race for him, but he ends up in 12th place. He made some good moves. Whitton's in 13th, and Castles couldn't do as much as I'm sure he would have hoped. And this is how it happened. Hanoi on the inside into the parabolica and just loses it. Maybe the tyres aging, and yeah,
you
that's
could see in front of the other car. Also losing the rear end. Ludwig Stahl, unfortunately, on the last lap, on the last corner of the last lap, losing the car and the rear end. Really unfortunate. Let's catch the replay of that too. You can see already him losing in the car on entry, and nowhere he could actually recover the car. Once you start sliding, especially at such a speed, is very difficult.
Yeah, so oh, that would be absolutely gutsing on the last corner. Fought so hard for it. He ended up losing a few places right at the end. But it's Kane Halliburton, the car number 1, who wins out by 0.3 of a second over McHutchinson, who will be delighted with that one. Olago finishes in 3rd position, and Ming, he led going on to the last lap of the race, ending up in 4th. Kundelis just dropped out of the draft in the early stages, otherwise he could...
We might have lost some. I'll keep going through the standings. Sorry for these technical issues. As we were saying, Arturas Kundelis ends up in 5th place. Tom Wedgwood ends in 6th with a nice recovery drive, 7 places up the order in 6th place, Dylan Fraqueton in 7th, Daniel Beauchamp in 8th, Paul Taylor in 9th, and Matteo Graziano, the Italian driver, starting all the way from the back in 10th. Simaloy in 11th place with a very eventful last lap, and Denis Kyriakopoulos having issues at the start of the race ends in 12th. Tommy Wittens in 13th, Ant Casses in 14th, Eric Hanoi in 15th, and Ludwig Stahl in 16th place. Conor Bell, after an early accident in turn 1, managed to turn some laps and finish in 17th place alone, and following we have all the drivers involved in that huge accident exiting the second of Lesmo: Diego Acevedo, Robert Woodward, David Alexis Jordan, and Udis Poteklis in 22nd and last place. We might have some back, if I'm correct.
I hope so. Can you hear me alright?
Yes, indeed.
Awesome. Apologies for that. It's Norfolk. We don't have infrastructure. We haven't found... don't know what that word means. So we are still living in the 11th century, so probably something to do with that. Nelson's County, of course. By the way, quick shouts out to some of our sponsors. It was such a frantic race that we missed all of them. But thanks to SDK Gaming, first up, for providing our lovely overlay, which is awesome for broadcasting, streaming, and as a heads-up display, you can do all the customization you could ever want on it. Of course, there's some fantastic templates already available, like the ones that we use today, but also you can get the Formula 3.5 overlay, very similar to what they used to run in that championship in real life, and a few other templates as well, and then you can do loads of customization as well besides that. So SDK Gaming covers all the stuff in the background. You can display it however you want, so certainly do check out SDK Gaming. Also, of course, thanks to Apex Racing Academy, provide 29 data packs for various cars on iRacing, and those data packs include setups, track guides, weekly group coaching sessions, and it's also integrated with virtual racing school as well. So big thanks to Apex Racing Academy. Of course, if you're looking to improve your driving in road racing or on rallycross as well, do check out apexracingac.com for more details on them. We've got to have some interviews. We are going to have some interviews, and first up, we'll go in position order. We'll have a chat with Mr. John McHutchinson, who joins us in the commentary box now. John, congratulations! Second position is a mega achievement for yourself. It must have been pretty exciting going into the Ascari chicane on that last lap, because you fell a bit behind, but you're right on their tail at the end and managed to pick up some places. Is your heart still racing?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. It is a bit. I lost some time on, I think it was lap 14. I made a mistake, so I was pushing to catch back up on them again. And I knew coming into the last turn, I could see they were starting to slide a little, so the tyres must have been getting hot. And I just hoped something would happen, and it did. So, all good.
Absolutely. What was your strategy before you had the slide? I mean, were you going to kind of go for a move eventually? When were you going to pull the trigger in that race?
But there's no point in trying anything until the last lap. It's just such a draft fest. So I was quite happy sitting behind them all, getting a tow round and take my chances on the last lap.
Definitely, and that yielded a fairly good results in the end. How have you found Monza this week? I mean, it's such a slipstream circuit in this car. Do you enjoy these slipstream circuits? I may have asked you in the past, but it's so much down to tactics. It's kind of quite unusual compared to other races on iRacing.
I normally love Monza, and this week's been a bit of a shit show for me personally. So that race tonight was the best race I've had this week. I think I've only done 4 something. Let's say it's just been a disaster this week. So I'm delighted to get second in that race.
Absolutely, that'll get you some nice points for the official series Championship and of course the Friday Night Championship as well. Very much thanks for having a chat with us, John. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Not just to you guys for doing the broadcast, really appreciate it, and all the iRacing community and the Radical guys.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, John, and we'll see you back next week, hopefully.
Yep, sure will.
John McHutchinson there, finishing in second place tonight from 5th on the grid. Alessandro, I think we have another interview lined up.
Yes, indeed. We have Manu Rayo Largo, started in second place, finished third. Might be a little bit upset about it, but at the same time, I might add, at least this time managed to do more than one corner. So compared to last week, Manu, definitely a very big improvement.
Yeah, for sure. My two last races were 0 for me. I couldn't do any lap. But today, well, we're still alive, so it was a good race, and very difficult because straights are too long, and with this car, you know what it is with the drafting. So that we had to think about in which position we have to be on the last laps, and then wait for what happens.
It's very, very difficult to predict what is gonna happen on this track, because every corner, every straight, you have the chance to make a pass, and we've seen you and Kik change position pretty much every lap, and I think that was more or less planned, not to battle too much in the first part of the race, since you would, I think, prefer to have less cars behind you. And that worked out pretty well. Only 4 cars in the end fighting for the lead, but nevertheless, only 4 cars provided such a great show, because we had a lot of fun watching you guys.
Yes, that was, we were looking for less cars on the group. It's more easy to be on the last laps, and at least it was 4 cars. Last laps, John made a mistake, but he recovered again. And yeah, that was the strategy: less cars, and sometimes try to improve the distance we had with Kane, but it's complicated because Kane is extremely fast, and John as well. So that was what we were doing.
Absolutely. And next week we move to the US. We go to Road Atlanta, very, very famous track. Another track where we have a very, very big backstretch where Slipstream is gonna come into place. How are you looking forward to it? Is it a track you really feel comfortable, or a track you don't really particularly like?
No, it's a track that I really like. It has the first sector is too tricky to look, some curves and that, but as well we have the Spanish Championship on that track next week. Sorry. So we have to work here a lot because the championship is fixed. It's like this, fixed setup. So we have to train there, make races, and be prepared for the race on Friday.
Well, definitely, it's gonna help you a lot. Before we let you go, Manu, anyone you would like to thank?
As always, you guys for making this stream and made us feel a little bit more professional. And to all my teammates from Autos Motorsport and all the people looking for the next Friday.
Well, absolutely, we are too. Thanks for joining us. I think, Sam, we have time for another interview. I think Sam is definitely looking forward for this, since we have Daniel Beauchamp coming into the booth. Sam, please behave and get his name right.
Yeah, you can get out, Sanjay, honestly. Don't expect you to come back next week, to be honest. Because it's not easy for us Norfolk folk, because we have our own language, and Daniel Beauchamp
Hey guys.
joins us in the commentary box now. sorry about that, Daniel. 8th place tonight. A pretty good result for yourself. It was a little bit well, it was mainly up, to be honest, because you managed to hang on to that 8th place for the most part. Take us through your race.
I had a bit of a mistake with Errand at T1, which was unfortunate. I think it was mostly my fault because he was a little bit more far alongside, but I talked to him about it and we're okay. And then going on from there, just trying to stay with the pack as much. Unfortunately, someone, when we were just 1.6 seconds behind at like lap 5 or something, someone tried to overtake me when, if we just waited, could have caught up. So that caused a lot more falling back and interacting with other drivers in 7th, 8th, 9th, and then just, it's so easy. You make little mistakes in corners, or you just have little bumps with people, and 2 other people overtake, and yeah, it's difficult with this track. Because so many people keep up with you because of the draft. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with 8th. I was able to hold on to it for the last few laps, which I was really happy with. I was fighting with Paul, who was a really fair driver.
Absolutely. I mean, what I would say about that instant at the start with Errand, it looks like it was netcode, but from my vantage points. But no, maybe I'm not quite sure. But yeah, looks very innocent from our position out there. Of course, this is a properly extreme circuit, as you're stating before. Round this place, we had Alton Park last week. We had this circuit this week. I mean, which circuit have you enjoyed more? Have you enjoyed the strategy of this place, or are you looking forward to going back to some of the more technical circuits?
I think I've actually really enjoyed driving this circuit. I did the 12 hours of Sebring last weekend, and it was very refreshing after that to start practicing for this week. And I think a big part of that was Monza. It was really nice to drive. So I think in terms of driving it, I preferred it from Alton, but the racing, especially with the draft coming into action about 2 seconds back, I think, it's just, the racing's a bit of a joke sometimes. It's just, it's so hard to make a gap or anything. It's so hard to keep these slower drivers behind. It's who gets where is somewhat almost just luck or circumstantial, and you can't really sort of muscle your way through with pace. Just need to be in the right place in the right time at the right time. So yeah, I am looking forward to going back to the more technical tracks. Road Atlanta next week is a really nice track, and it's really fun in this car.
Absolutely, very much a roller coaster, that one, with a little bit of slipstream as well. So a nice balance, I'm sure, for next week. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Daniel?
Yeah, Kane as the winner. Congratulations, nice race. I'm amazed that he actually won, because I saw him down in like 6th in lap 2 or something. So it's amazing that he got back up to P1. And yeah, once again, you guys, really great commentary. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Daniel. We'll see you back in next Friday.
Yeah, guys. Thanks.
Daniel Beauchamp there. I'm getting good.
Yeah,
quite good at that. I don't want to boast again, but I'm putting that on my CV. Finishing in 8th place there. What a night of racing, Sanjay. Like I said before, I was hyping this one up quite a bit. It was nice to see those top guys actually work. Just play it smart. It shows the difference between the regulars, where they wait behind one another for that entire race, and then properly duel it out fairly as well in the last lap. Maybe some of the less experienced drivers who were swapping, changing, as Daniel was talking about, but real high quality racing at the front. It was great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see why some drivers are always at the front. And some other drivers struggle a little bit overall with the racecraft, because it's not always the best option to go for it and make the pass at any cost. Sometimes you just need to head back and hold back and just try to work together. Took me quite a long time for me to accept this, and I sometimes still forget it. But Monza definitely is one of the tracks where these comes a lot into place, and definitely today we saw that.
Absolutely. Just realised that we didn't give a shout out to Virtual Racing School, so thanks to Virtual Racing School. 50 plus data packs available for road and oval racing. Setups, track guides, data analysis software, and one-on-one coaching, all available at Virtual Racing School, so certainly do check their website out. If you just go into Google Virtual Racing School, you will find them. Certainly do check that out if you're looking to improve your driving performance. So we'll be back then for week 4 of the Radical Racing Challenge next week at Race Atlanta. Same time slots. Hopefully you got used to this time slot with the clocks changing and all. It gets a little bit confusing, but hopefully we will stick with this exact time for everyone for the foreseeable future. Raid Atlanta for that next round will certainly be a very good one to watch. Of course, if you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on it and go check out our social media as well on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, because we're posting short little highlights of each of our events on there. So it's good to check out our pages, see kind of what the best action of the past week on Apex Racing TV. So certainly do check out all our social media platforms. But for myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, for Sanjay Taladone and for Mark Chenter, we're going to say goodbye. It's Halliburton's second win of the season. We'll see you back in Georgia in 1 week's time. See you then.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.